Want to know what a furry and Pac-Man have in common? No, not that kind of furry. This furry. Well, stay tuned and I'll explain in today's video. So, Pac-Man Museum Plus just came out on all platforms, and with it we have 14 classic games, all playable on one cartridge. While there are some questionable choices in this collection, such as having the Japanese versions of games rather than the English versions, or the erasure of Miss Pac-Man, all in all, it's a solid collection that rivals the likes of Sonic Origins.
Where's the physical copy, Sega?
With the modern release of classic games comes a lot of newcomers who have never played the classics, such as the arcade version of Arrangement, Super Pac-Man, Pac-Motos, or Championship Edition, the last game made by the father of Pac-Man, Toru Iwatani himself. However, a lot of people will get to discover such classics like Pac-Land, and a game I've never played until now, Pac-In-Time. Pac-In-Time is a weird game to say the least. Growing up I would see it but never really cared to play it as there was no modern port of the game and it just never caught my attention. But now that I had Museum Plus, I had no excuse to play it.
Bruh.
Okay, scratch that. I had to play it if I wanted to get the good content. Thanks, Namco. Pac-In-Time starts us off with the story that confirms it's a sequel to Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures. Remember that point-and-click game where Pac-Man had crazy personality problems? The plot essentially breaks down to how the Ghost Witch is mad at Pac-Man for foiling her plans, when all Pac-Man did in the previous game was get some milk, pick a flower, and hang out at the arcade, only stepping up to fight when his son was literally robbed. Anyway, the old hag puts a curse on Pac-Man.
You should kill yourself.
The game looks nice, and the music is phenomenal for a SNES game. Like, it's almost on Pluck levels of good. But, unfortunately, that's all the good I can say about it. Slippery controls, confusing cryptic puzzles, and cheap level design make this an absolute pain to play. It's like this wasn't even a Pac-Man game to begin with. What the heck are you looking at? This dude looks like he owns an air fryer or something. What? What's that? You say Pac-In-Time wasn't even a Pac-Man game to begin with? That's right, hypothetical audience that should totally subscribe to my channel. While Pac-In-Time originally came out for the DOS, Macintosh, SNES, and Game Boy in 1995, what's even more is that it's a reskin of a game called Fury of the Furries that came out in 1993. You see, in 1994 the game was licensed to Namco, and to put it in layman terms, this game pulled a Mario 2, changing the graphics, music, and adding in their own popular character. To clarify, the Amiga, DOS, and Game Boy versions are just a reskin of the original game, while the SNES version is built from the ground up with original levels. However, it still uses all the main power-ups from the original game. Fury of the Furries is a neat little game that more people need to play in my opinion. You see, the plot revolves around these little creatures called Tinies, who have just returned from space only to realize their home has been ruined and taken over by an evil Tiny called the Wicked One. So, utilizing the Tiny's abilities to transform, they gain new skills enabling you to swing, climb, fight, and swim your way to the castle where the king is being held captive. It's quality old school puzzle platforming. While I didn't grow up with the original game, I feel more people should play would inspire the creation of Pac-In-Time, as there is a lot of charm that even surpasses the level designs and ability gimmicks themselves. I think the game deserves more attention other than the people that just grew up with it. For instance, there's no speedrunning other than this one video I found on YouTube that's just World 1, but yeah, there's no real speedruns of the game, barely anyone talks about it in modern media, and I just think it's a pretty cool thing overall. I also feel the Pac-In-Time devs could have been a little more original with the SNES port by replacing the fireball with a Pac-Dot, and maybe giving him a snorkel underwater just to clarify why you need to swap ability just to do basic swimming. If you're interested in playing either Fury of the Furries or the PC version of Pac-In-Time, I'll leave a link below as the game is considered abandonware and is free to play in a browser or just download on your PC. So now that you know about Fury of the Furries, I have to tell you about its sequel. That's right, after 20 years, the original devs from the first game are making a real sequel, and it's looking pretty good. The title? Fury of the Furries 2. And the mandatory subtitle. I'm not gonna lie, the sass in this name alone is already really charming. At the time of this video, the dev's official Twitter only has around 100 followers, and to me that's criminally underrated and unacceptable when they made the account just 3 years ago. They already posted a trailer, and while I know numbers don't mean everything, they need more attention. I already made the mistake with Ricky and Vicky when missing that game launched out, so I want to make sure that people notice that this game's coming out. Also, what is it with the French bringing back old dormant games from like over 20 years ago? I'm looking at you, Windjammers too. Not complaining, but just pretty cool. I want to give a big shout out to my follower Danny Dirt on Twitter for even telling me of the existence of Fury of the Furries, which led me down a rabbit hole to research how Pac-In-Time even came to be. I'd also like to thank the channel It's a Pixel Thing for making a video explaining the history and origins of Fury of the Furries. If you want more context about how these games came to be and a more in-depth overview of the gameplay, I'd highly recommend you check out his channel. The person who composed the absolute banger of an OST is actually on YouTube and has uploaded the entire soundtrack of Pac-In-Time on YouTube and Bandcamp. And yes, I did buy the Pac-In-Time album. I'm a real fan, gotta show my support. And lastly, a big thanks to Diamond Longplace for being the first and only person online to upload a full playthrough of this game, so I could see the ending for myself without checking myself into a mental asylum. Links to everyone will be in the description. Thanks for watching to the end, and remember my friends, stay foxy.